right. So, I would like to just start out. The very first thing that I'd like to do is just start out with engaging in the heavenly realms. Okay. So let's engage together and see what's going on and if the Lord wants to show us anything in particular. Okay. And if you see something that means no, it makes no sense to you, don't think that you're crazy. Just be willing to share anyway because it might resonate with someone else. Okay. So, all right, let's just engage together. Okay, everyone, focus back here. And hello, some people who hopped on in the middle. We were just engaging the heavenly realms. I would love if you guys would share anything that you got while we were engaging that you feel like you can share. You got to have a volunteer, anyone. Thank you, River, for turning your camera on. Thank you, Nadia, for turning your camera on. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Lorado. Thank you, Karen. You guys. I hope you know I really do appreciate when you do that. So, does anyone have anything to share about what you were engaging about?
I'll share.
Okay.
So I saw us this time in a circle, um, and we were like holding hands. It's like the words that came to me were the unity that we have is very strong. And Yeshua was there, and so was the Father, and they were saying, what you're doing here is much bigger than what you realize that you're doing, or you need to like start realizing what you're doing here, because it has, though we might be engaging over our family or this, that, and the other thing, the act of this level of spiritual connection and also involvement is changes the world. And it really does. It's got global implications, and it's like this light that, and it's kind of cool that we were from different parts of the earth, because there's these lights that are coming together and multiplying as we do this with each other, and even as we do it on our own. And when we come together, it's just that much bigger. So even if I guess it was part of the word was, even if what we're personally dealing with is on a personal level, to know that engaging in heaven like this is huge in bringing heavenly principles to earth, in shattering strongholds that the enemy has had, because the frequency is such that it can't the enemy's frequency can't stand it. So we just gotta keep going. And even at times when we feel like uh you know maybe upset or depressed or overwhelmed or anything like that, to uh remember this remember the connection that we have with each other, and remember the connection that we have with our Father, and how much this matters to him and Yeshua.
That's awesome. Thank you, River.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. So when I saw some of the same things. When you said the light, it really identified with me, because let me tell you what I saw. See. Okay, so the first thing that I saw was fire. Like, it wasn't like a burning out of control fire, but I saw this fire, and it really kind of alerted me, because I'm like, whoa, a fire? So, but then I saw this fire, but then I saw all of these horses. Some of them did not have a rider on the horse, but it was like all of these horses. I don't know why I've been seeing horses lately, but then I saw all of us on this. We were like, we had it just like you said, River, like we had our different regions that we would go, but then we came together. It's like I saw us, like we would come and line up together. And then I saw I saw torches. Like we were carrying these torches with the fire on these torches. And like it was almost like, something that you see on TV. Like we had our torches in our hand, and we were riding our horses, and we were just like going forth and we were going in different regions. But then I heard the words restitution and no, 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 no. No, I didn't hear I heard restoration and reconciliation. Those are the words that I heard. Like we
Mhm.
were going and ministering. I don't know if it was just one person that was going and ministering but it was almost like I saw it was like our individual ministries, but we were going in and doing restoration and reconciliation. It was so cool. It was so cool. So that's what I saw.
That's awesome. Thank you. Cool. All right. Anyone else? I think Media is trying to talk, but her sound's not coming through. No. Okay. How about Nidia? While you're working on that, I think Myrna has something to share. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I first start engaging, I saw a lot of angels. Then I saw a lot of kids, and we are in circle. And then above us, I saw clouds and lightning coming from each directions, coming down. And then all of a sudden, we went down three level, like three steps, but each step it had a ship, like a boat. But then three step down, then three step up, these ships each step, and three steps down and three steps up. So each ship represents something that we need to grab something from it, or the Lord going to give us something, or we have to fulfill something from each ship that going down and up. And it was three down, three up, three down, three up. So each step is a ship. And then after I saw a tree of life, and then it's got a biggest balls of pearls, the biggest you can ever seen, like so shiny and so big. So you need to climb and to get these pearls. And then in the same time, while I'm seeing that, I saw the biggest tail of, if you watch the movie of the dinosaurs, had the mother swing her tail and when it hits hard, it actually removes things from, like, no one can stand against it. And I asked the Lord, oh, that is so nice. Like the pearls is so awesome. And this one is actually, they're all connected. And at the end, the Lord showed me that there's things in there, the rooms is actually opening. So in the same time, it's got to do with this ship, like it's got to do retrieving things down for us and doing it together. So I saw us going down, in and out, in up and down, all of us. Yeah. So and I thought it's weird, but yeah.
That's awesome. Actually, it didn't seem weird to me at all. You started saying about the ships, and I was asking the Lord because when we were engaging, I he started showing me all sorts of things that relate to what we were talking about today. But then he also showed me the ship, and I was like, I don't know how this relates because he's shown me like this certain ship. I know River's seen it because we were just engaging that this week. But this ship that is for healing, and it has all these very unique uh different ways of getting healed that are kind of more advanced. And anyway, you can go to these different parts of the ship for healing. And but I could tell it was like not everyone can go to the ship. It's one of these, like, you have to almost graduate to a different level at least to go to all the areas of the ship. And so how Myrna was talking about like these different steps and all of that with the different ships, it makes me really kind of understand that more. And so anyway, thank you, Myrna, for sharing all of that. I do think it's something that we should all try to engage and see what the Lord shows us about that. Nydia said, not sure what's going on with my connection. Sorry, but I saw heavenly beings cooking for us and we were being served. Nice.
I have just a comment from what Myrna said, and that is that when we were in that circle, there were huge angels behind us. I mean, huge, and they were all like in black, and and I said kind of in this way that I never would have said as a kid, but it almost sounded like a little kid to me, and I felt like it had to do with just like, I am a child in this journey at this point. But I was like, wow, Father, these are really badass angels.
That's funny.
And he responded back that it's true, they were badass angels, but they are there to protect us and the work that we do because it is so important. So that's all.
That's cool. Very cool. All right. Anyone else have anything to share?
I do. Well, mine happened in a dream that I had last night. I don't know if it was a dream. I mean, it was something that was really going on. And when y'all started talking about the circles and the light, it reminded me of that because I couldn't sleep. And so I'm like in a state of sleep, maybe in a like a dream. But I don't know, has anybody ever seen that video by Laura C? It's called In the Beginning. No? Well, in that video, there's like little round, it's a circle, but it's like a thin light. And then there was a circle in the middle, and then around it was kind of like, it wasn't really a circle, but it really wasn't a square either, but it was kind of weird like that, kind of squarish, but roundish. And the lights were like a slit and then another slit and then another one and so forth. Like they weren't connected, but they were connected, but they didn't look like they were connected. And so in whatever it was that I was having, then the enemy started trying to get in to disrupt what was going on with us. And then so I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. What's going on? And then so I went back to sleep. And when I went back to sleep, before I went back to sleep, I asked to rest with the Father, and asked Yeshua to join me. And so finally, I was able to rest a little bit in that area. And when I did, it was like the enemy could no longer penetrate what we were doing in that, whatever it was that we were doing. We were joining together and being who we're supposed to be, I guess. And then a while ago when I was engaging, the Father was just telling me some of the things that I had been thinking about were things that he had actually given me. So just like different personal things, sometimes we think that we're thinking about it and it's really persistent on our mind, and it's not really us, it's really him telling us, giving us information, and so just to be more aware of that and to really, because sometimes I think like I'm asking the Father, asking Yeshua, because I can be indecisive. And he was telling me, no, I'm actually answering you, but you're not. You think that it's you. You think that it's just you going over and over this situation in your head, but it's really me. So I was like, okay, okay. So, and then just my spirit, my soul, and my body were like really joined together, and we were like becoming one. And we were like, I've been trying to engage my spirit more because I realize that I'm not allowing my spirit to like engage. It's always my soul, my soul, my soul. And so I've been allowing my spirit I've been engaging my spirit to come in it more and to speak more, because my spirit really doesn't speak. It just kind of does. And so I've been asking it to speak more. So
That's
that
cool.
happens. Yeah. And that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I will share more about what I saw when we start doing the teaching stuff, because a lot of it had to do with that, of course. That happens every time, it seems like. So how about this? Can we think about, first of all, did everyone here get to either be a part of the class or listen to the recording this week? Yes. Okay. No. Yes. I know. Okay. Well, if you didn't, then no need to answer. Okay. Unless the Lord just led you in this direction randomly, which is possible, but we don't know. Anyway, we talked about governing last week. Do you remember? Anyone? Yes. Okay. Did anyone
Yes.
have any? I would like for you guys to share about your experiences this week with governing, either good, bad. Oh, I did good at the beginning. I totally forgot, whatever it is. Here's what happened to me, because I met with a few of you last week. Everyone I met with had some sort of like, oh crap, that's right. I should be governing. You know what I mean? This happens like, yeah, I was doing this and then I just totally forgot. Or, the Lord's leading you into different ways of governing. And so, anyway, I want you to share, if you can, any way that maybe you grew this week, or even if you had a struggle, so we can help each other out with how governing went. Okay. Can you do that? Okay, I'm going to ask River to go first. I see she's ready.
Okay. So, well, right. I don't remember if it was during the class in an engaging time or if it was right after the class. I just went to the Father and said, okay, Lord, what are the mountains that you want me to be governing, right? And he gave me five. A sixth one later, he reminded me about, but he gave me five at that point, and that was like my body, my family, the work, the company that I run, the state that I live in, and the country that I live in. And so I started for the first like 2 or 3 days. When I would wake up in the morning, I would go, okay, and I would just close my eyes and check in about my body and then my family and then whatever. And whether it was that they needed prayer or it was something like, oh, you need to call your son because you haven't taught, whatever, that kind of thing, or for all of those things. And then this week was very busy just because we've moved two offices and combined them into one this week. And a lot of just tiredness from physical moving and what it's like. And by the time that I talked to Chris at the end of the week on Friday, I was just feeling like I was in splinters. And I just felt just a lot of uh, like discouragement and like I was in the wrong place and I didn't know what I was doing, and just like you name it, the doubt that the enemy can throw at us. Well, it was kind of landing, and I'd had a bad sort of weird dream kind of thing that I didn't remember. And she said, it sounds like you're not governing. And so as soon as she said that, I knew that was right. And so I then began to check in with those places again, and it's really helpful at any time. Like I noticed last night, part of it was just like I was really tired. Um, and when I get tired, then that kind of stuff happens. Last night I was really tired, and that started happening. I started thinking about governing and started thinking about those mountains, um, and it's like the doubt, about my identity, all that just like went away, because I was then once again being in the right place with the Lord, which was to govern as He directs.
That's awesome. Thank you. I do have something to share real quick from Fair. She's not able to share out loud, but I wanted to share this just because I think it could be very important. She said she sees someone with a key and a prison door or something was opened. People are being or people or beings were freed just a minute ago. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Maybe if you feel, ooh, that might be me, then just press into that, okay? Yeah, does anyone have anything else to share about the governing time this week?
God did begin to reveal what my mountains were. He began to tell me about my mountain, my kids, my team, because I'm a manager, and my family, ministry. And actually, just yesterday, we were getting together and engaging, and God showed me my prayer mountain.
Yay.
And He showed me my prayer mountain that it was in need of some cleaning because I had not been governing over my prayer mountain. And so I asked God to help me clean my mountain, and He did. And so I began to uh, look at my mountain and be there with God. And I did actually begin governing more over my team for work, and learning what that is. So, yeah. So, thank you.
That's awesome. Yay. Good. Cool. It actually is really good when you have things like you had your mountain revealed that needs some work. It is nice, actually, even though it's not very exciting at the time. You're like, oh crap, what have I done? But when you have that, at least it's like, oh, but I can deal with it. And so now you can get the healing from it. Now you can start to do that and be more responsible. I know one of the things that encourages me the most is actually kind of when I'm discouraged and can't figure out why or what's going on. And then the Lord shows me, oh, you've totally forgotten about this and neglected this. And then it's like, oh, and I can refocus there and everything starts to fall back in line. And it's so cool to see like the goodness of the Lord when we're just, He's never mean with us. He's not like, you've ruined it. It's just a, here you go, let's work on this part. And it's so nice. I feel like I always feel his love stronger when I see that stuff, actually. All right, anyone else want to share?
When we were engaging yesterday, I saw my family mountain. And so that's one that I've been really like working on. And he's still showing me how to govern on that mountain because there's so much there. And it's, just one layer at a time. So he just is continuing to show me what I need to do there.
That's
so many weeds.
yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, Amanda.
I've been trying to engage and govern stuff, but I don't know if it's because I'm overwhelmed emotionally or feel desperate that I haven't really gotten like a whole lot. Um, Especially with my little ones feeling, starting to get another infection, and I reached out to the doctor, and I feel like she's kind of given up on us because she says she couldn't do anything else for us. So I've been asking the Lord what to do, and I've been asked, I felt like I got that I can do the ivermectin in suppositories, but I don't want to hurt him, obviously, because I'm not a medical expert. And so I've been kind of engaging on that to see if that's coming from the Lord or not. So if anybody wants to help me with that, that'd be great. Um, yeah, thank you.
Um, I would like to help in some way. Just when you were talking about that, I was kind of pressing in like, Lord, is this anything that you want me to help with? And he just brought up my healing mountain and how, so I have a healing mountain. That's one of my mountains is healing. And so obviously, I guess that should be since I'm doing this healing course. But yeah, anyway, I know that I'm supposed to help. So maybe just book an appointment with me or whatever, and we'll make it happen. Okay. Of
Thank you.
course. Hmm. Anyone else have anything to share over that stuff?
Well, I engaged, I think it was on Thursday or Friday during the week, I think with Viva, and we were shown, I wanted to address the court case of stolen and lost things. Yes. And the Lord showed us, we confronted the people that were owing me, and some were slippery, some were standing firm, some were reasoning, saying that I never called them accountable for the money. I never did a follow up and demanded my money and all of that. And right then there, I addressed it that I want my money. I commanded the money to be returned back to me with interest, and they all gave in. Other one was looking into his pocket. The other one started kind of like giving in into giving the money. So I also said that as it is in heaven, I receive it in the flesh. So in the flesh, I still want to receive that money. Yeah. And then yesterday again, we engaged again, and I think no, it was on Wednesday as well. Another one when we were engaging, the Lord showed us of mine that was very protected. And in that mountain, I went inside. The Lord led me to go inside. And in that mountain, I kind of like transformed. And they were like, I don't know how to describe it, but Riva maybe might explain it properly if she still remembers. But it was like I have some glittery goldish, I don't know if it's a glow or there was something that was coming all around me. For me, in the physically, I saw a transparent ball coming forward to me, and it was like getting all over me, and I had to, I don't know, I think I was like, it was getting on me. I was getting inside of it. Physically, that's what I was feeling. But yeah, so I think it was the Lord's glory in the spirit or what, I'm not sure, but it came over me. And when I walked out of the mountain, I walked with it. And oh yeah, I forgot another part on the courts. When the case was done, the father wrote, gave me a scroll, and We took it to the courts of record and I handed over it there, and then I received it back afterwards. And then I took it to, we asked the father, where should I take it? I kind of like felt like to my throne. I took it to my throne, and yeah, that was it. And then another experience we had when we engaging, I'm trying to look through my notes. Uh, Oh, yes. So when we were engaging, I was also doing night shift again. So I was in and out, and at some point I couldn't engage well. And one of the ladies shared with me that Jesus is governing my mountains. So I did a prayer asking the Father that please do govern over my mountains if I'm not doing well, if I'm not capable, or I'm not doing as I'm supposed to, until I am fit to take over and govern my mountains. And if I should step up, also let me know, tell me, show me how do I step up if I am capable at this stage. And yes, one of the ladies confirmed that they do see Jesus engaging over my mountains. What else? I think, yeah, that's it for me.
That's awesome. Hey, I do want to say something. I think I forgot to say this last time about governing, but our spirit, it reminds me actually of Amanda, you were talking about engaging your spirit more. And our spirits are at work even when our soul doesn't understand it. And so I remember I had never seen my mountain before. I had engaged my mountain by faith, but I had never seen it before because I wasn't really seeing in the spirit very much back then. And I was helping all sorts of people, so I would see theirs all the time. Because this often happens to me. The Lord will, in my own walk, I won't see very much because my relationship with him has been very like about this heart to heart kind of communication. I don't know if this makes sense, but I've never been one who sees or hears a lot in the spirit. I get this knowing and this like heart communication with him. So in my personal walk, that's generally how it is still. But when I'm engaging with other people, I will a lot of times see how they see, or even see because it will encourage them, like the Lord will open my eyes to see stuff to tell them or something. And so anyway, I'd seen lots of other people's mountains, but I hadn't seen my own. And I felt like I was not governing well enough, like in my soul, I'm not paying attention enough. I'm not doing well enough in this. And that was just kind of this, I'm trying to always keep up sort of thing is how I felt. And my sister was engaging with me one day and said, hey, can I go look on your mountain? And I'm like, well, sure. And she sees a lot more than me. And so when she did, she told me, wow, I can't believe, but your mountain is like pristine. It is like it's on autopilot, everything working really well. And it's like amazing. And I was like, really? I have not been, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, I'm not paying enough attention. Um, and the Lord started showing me that just because my soul isn't paying attention to that part necessarily doesn't mean that my spirit isn't engaged. And I have built such a relationship of intimacy with him that is what creates a healthy governing. And so it's
Okay.
so interesting because I didn't realize it, but I was a lot further in the spirit than my soul understood. And still, I'm like this, like when I engage the heavenly realms, I don't always understand, but the Lord like shows me things like, yes, you've been doing this for a long time. Even though I don't realize, I've never seen it before in my mind, but my spirit is very aware and mature and has been doing it for a long time. And so it's really interesting. We can be governing better than we think, or we could be governing worse than we think, depending on it. Because even my ex-husband, I remember when I first engaged his mountain, he wasn't sitting in his throne and this demon was sitting in his throne. And I was like, what? And it was because he had no intimacy with the Lord and he had never engaged that himself. And so without meaning to, someone else was governing because he wasn't. And it was like, okay, and it's not like he's a demonic guy. It's just he didn't realize that that's what was happening because he'd never paid attention. And so I think that we just need to make sure that our foundation of intimacy is the priority. The works is not the priority. Please just understand that if you're like, oh man, yesterday I totally forgot and I'm a terrible person, then you're eating from the wrong tree again. You're going for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and you need to make sure that you aren't focused on the works, but you are doing it because it is a way of engaging with the Lord to make sure you're taking responsibility, but also to have that growing in intimacy with him. So whatever we do in the spirit, make sure it's focused on that. And like Nidia, you were talking about how you've been trying, you haven't seen a whole lot in what this is. This could be a time for you that the Lord is wanting you to focus in on intimacy and is like, I'm not going to show you this stuff right now. And it's okay. Like, this is something that's really good. And you don't have to think, I just don't see anything. I'm terrible. It's not like that. The Lord will show you exactly what you need to see when it's time. And as long as you are still seeking him that way, absolutely focus on intimacy and maybe your own inner healing. I mean, I can tell that this is like really distressful. I mean, this is a time of big distress, and it's okay. In that case, ask Yeshua to take your throne, to rule the stuff that you can't right now. And it's okay, and he will. And then you can take your responsibility back when you're a little bit better. Just make sure you do. But anyway, no condemnation for that. And the other thing is, if you're a person that you've been seeking and seeking, and the Lord is saying, no, don't focus on that, then don't focus on that. Don't feel some sort of way just because I taught something that means that you need to be functioning in it. It's very important that all the things that we go over, that you understand that some is for you right now and some is for you to put on the shelf. You know what I mean? It's not going to be, oh, I'm not doing well enough. Because I had someone this week who I met with who she just said, I don't know why, but the Lord is just still, I just am not getting anything in this with governing. And the Lord reminded me that, I don't know, a year or two ago when we engaged over this, the Lord said, this isn't who you are. It's different for you. And he said, this is what you're supposed to focus on, and showed her what she's supposed to focus on. And so just because this is how a lot of people function doesn't mean it's how you're supposed to function. So just make sure that you're being led, that everything about it is not stepping into condemnation, but it is really being led by the Lord and focused on that intimacy. Cool. Okay.
Can I add on something also that I forgot?
Yeah,
when we were engaging as well, the Lord showed one of the ladies that there's a beam that looks like a man. It's like it's almost like a trash collector. He was coming in my mountains, I think, collecting. She said he collected like 4 things, like 4 treasures. And yes, so there's been some cleaning.
Oh, wow.
I'm happy.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, let's shift gears, shall we? Okay, so today, what we are going to focus on is focusing on whatever is good, pure, lovely, honorable, worthy of praise, all of that. You know what I'm talking about in Philippians? Maybe you don't.
Yes.
I'm going to look it up so you guys. Okay, good. Somebody knows. Philippians 4:8. Okay. It says, I'm going to use the very easy translation of New Living. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about these things that are excellent and worthy of praise. This, I want you to know, probably everyone in this group has heard some sort of sermon on this before. Am I right? Or maybe 100 sermons on it. I don't know if you're like me. Okay. This is something that I have heard a million times, but I need a constant reminding of. And I'll tell you, this group is really, really important that we do this and we do it with one another. I'm going to share a little bit of testimony about this, and hopefully it will spark something wonderful in you. But first, I want everyone to think of a highlight from this week. If you're a person that you try to think for a long time and you're like, everything sucks in my life, there's nothing highlighted, then this group today is for you. All right. But I believe everyone can come up with some sort of highlight this week. So I want every person to think for just a minute. I'll give you a minute to think, and then everyone will share. Okay. All right, time's up. Nidia, you go first.
I have several ones, but my favorite one is I had a situation with my daughter, as you know, and oh my gosh, I just felt the presence of the Father. I was able to reach out and get engagement. And I mean, that situation just was, wow. It just turned around so quick. And the Lord just protected my heart. And I'm sure he also protected my daughter's heart and it all. And, I mean, that was just amazing. I just felt the comfort of the Lord and the protection of the Lord. And I know if he did it for me, he did it for my daughter as well. That was like definitely the highlight. I have other ones as well. I mean, I was able to I was voluntold to go to a field trip with my student and ended up being fun. It was so hot. It's 100 and something degrees over here in my end. And it was a water park and I didn't really want to go, because I didn't want to be out there and who wants to go swim on my student's pee. Anyways, it ended up um, being such a really nice time. I didn't want to also hang out with a bunch of coworkers. Honestly, I'd rather be with the kids instead of hanging out with the students. I'm sorry, not. I'd rather hang out with the students than hang out a bunch with just coworkers and stuff. I don't know. I just feel weird. Like I felt out of place with them. But it was such a good time, and I was able to connect more with my students in a different way. And so that was awesome. Um, and then with my a little, I believe some breakthrough too with my older son and what he's going through as well, as he's maturing and as he's just, I'm just so blessed how he's just being led by the Lord and he's just allowing the Lord to lead him. Oh my gosh, that's just amazing. It was beautiful. Like that's what we want as parents, right? Like all our kids just to be in the Lord, rooted in the Lord, and to be guided and led by the Lord. And so, man, though right there as well, it's just been beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you, Nydia. Okay, how about Lorato?
I'm still trying to understand the question.
Okay, so a highlight would be something good that happened. Okay, maybe the best thing that happened this week, or maybe not even something that happened as much, but a highlight would be something that was a light in your life this week. Okay, so you can think for a little while longer. I'll keep going with other people. Okay,
I had a lot of this week.
okay, so you have to think of something that was good. Okay, that's the point. Yeah.
Okay, I was asked to bring my CV and they asked me to interview me at work this week and for a supervisor position. I've been acting almost for 2 years in and out. If somebody's not feeling well, I've been acting on that position. And then I got to find out there's like a lot of us who are going to be interviewed for it. So I got so excited because my personality and character has changed and I'm feeling more of a leadership. I've been working around like a leader. And when the request came, it came in very exciting. But when the day had to come, I think they told me a day before, I had cold feet.
No.
Yeah, but then what I just shared when we went to the governing the mountains, when we were engaging, that mountain that was protected and very special. When I came out, that different glow that was all over me, it was kind of like a awakened character, personality with boldness and confidence. It aligned with exactly what is happening now in the physical, where I get the opportunity to step up as a full-time supervisor. So yeah, that is my highlight.
That's awesome.
The interview didn't happen. I think they postponed it to Monday, but they haven't confirmed. Yes. Wow. So that will be my highlight.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I do need that supervisor position to afford the class for the rest of the year. I do need that increase.
You know what? I'll tell you what. You mentioned last week, I think it was, that you need help in affording that. And I have been just engaging over you a lot with that. And I would ask everyone, if anyone has problems with that we would engage to release finances over them, because I know if you feel led to do it, it takes more than just us sometimes, so let's just all partner together and release those finances over Lorado for that. Okay.
You.
Yeah. And in doing so, it also releases finances over me too. Right?
Yes, even Pearl, not Pearl, Faye, she's saying I need finances as well.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, Fair did say that. Thank you. All right. Yeah, let's engage over that. Go. Amanda, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say when I engaged over Lorado a while ago, um, I was like, okay, here's a pouch of gold. And then Father said, okay, pour it over. And then he said, here's an extra one. So it was an extra pouch of gold that was released.
That's awesome.
Wow. Thank you, Papa. The Father is so sweet.
That's awesome. Okay, Amanda, since you just spoke up, would you go next in sharing your highlight, please?
Okay, I have two of them. And I know that you guys always hear me talk about my work and my goals at work. And so it's just so amazing how my goal is for 20 placements a month, right? That's my goal. And for some reason, my goals don't come in until the very last day. And my manager is usually really, oh my gosh, she's stressing out and blah, blah, blah. And this month, she did not stress. She just said, I know you've got a pile in there somewheres, don't you? And I said, hold on, we're getting them. And so they have to do reports too, but their reports go in like the week before. And so she was like, well, how many do you have in waiting? I said, I have 11 in waiting. I said, so let's just hold on. So, I'm engaging over it and I'm like, I guess we're just going to be at 18 this month. And then that was on the day before the last day because I had to leave early. And then that Friday I ended up going in late because the rain, and because the traffic in San Antonio is really bad. People don't know how to drive in the rain here, period. So I get there and I got three more and I'm like, okay. So we ended up right exactly at 20. I don't know how it ended up, but we ended up right exactly at 20 on the last day.
Yay, that's
So
awesome.
and it's just so amazing because I'm engaging with the team, and I'm trying to learn their names and I'm trying to learn more about them because I engage with them all the time, but it's like they're there in the background, but I'm not always aware of it, because I get so caught up in being busy at work because I'm the only case worker right now on a grant, and I've got like over 100 people on my case right now. So, and we're having classes back to back to back, and it reminds me of everything that Fair said about me being an administrator, case management, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that was the highlight of it because in that time it's like I'm getting to know them more. I'm getting to be more intimate with the team and everything. And then the other highlight was that on Thursday was my nephew's birthday. He turned 16 and we had talked about what we wanted to do for our birthdays. And I wanted to go to a Japanese steakhouse. I don't know if you've ever been or heard of them, where they cook in front of you. And so he decided that's what he wanted to do. And I wanted it for my birthday, but I was kind of like, kind of apprehensive about it because I was like, well, maybe not everybody wants to do it because it can be really expensive. So he ended up asking for it. And I was like, yes, we get to go.
Oh my gosh. Amanda, that's exactly what I saw in the heavens when they were cooking for us. We're
Oh,
celebrating your birthday. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yes.
And then I also wanted to say, when you said you were engaging the heavenly beings, I saw you were engaging with the elevator, and he was bringing people up to your floor, unintentionally, but he was doing with purpose to bring them to you.
Oh my goodness. I tell him, good morning, elevator. I tell him that every morning. There's two of them. And so I was asking one of them his name, and I can't remember. It was something like Felix or Philip or something like that. And I was like, oh, I can't remember your name. You got to tell me your name again. And so I haven't remembered it yet. But the other one wasn't working for about a week, and then he started working again. So I just tell him every morning when I come in, good morning. And then I tell, good morning, angel of the house.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But those are my highlights.
Cool. All right, Amanda,
Yeah.
would you nominate someone else to go next?
Okay, I will nominate uh Patricia.
Okay.
Is she there?
Yes, I'm here. I knew you were going to call me. I just knew it. Here it is. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi. Nice to
Hello.
see you.
Nice to see you, everybody. Nice to meet you, everybody. So my highlight, I kind of started on Sunday. I kind of went through the rest of the week. But on Sunday, I went to church, and during my worship time, I just felt the Lord was, the pastor at the end was talking about, it was doing an article, but he was talking about, the joy that you're looking outside in things that, cars, women, boyfriends, homes, whatever it is, it's inside of you. That joy you're looking, it's inside of you. And, it was kind of interesting because at that moment, I just like, God, I want that really badly. I want that. And it was like a flashback that brought me back to 2017, about 8 years earlier, when I was in another service, worship service. And God was showing me, that what I would, that thing that I was looking for is inside of me. It's right within me, right? The kingdom of God is within you. But in that moment back then, I was dealing with a broken heart from a relationship that ended. And at that split moment, I remember myself, even as I was trying to come in within me, and all of a sudden I just ran away from that. And I said, no, and my thoughts started to go back to the pain, to the ex-boyfriend, all that jazz. So the Sunday was phenomenal last Sunday because it was like, that joy just started overtaking me. His presence was just so beautiful, and he stayed with me all the rest of the week. And it kind of was, well, it was awesome because then on Monday, so I work full time in a bank, but one of my things that I do that is my calling is mentoring women, and I do that through my Mary Kay business. So I did a facial on Monday. And then I did another one on Wednesday, and then I did another one on Saturday. So those were my highlights. But the thing about those is the governing that needed to happen on those, 3 different facial that I did. And I reached out to Christine, as a matter of fact, about it, because it was like, I hope, I'm doing it right, because I'm like, this is kind of, I'm definitely reaching out into people that they're still need help with the ways of the Lord. And so obviously I want to be able to govern in a way that they don't suck me into their darkness, so to speak, right? So it was awesome because, God was faithful. He kept me. He brought me, kept me in a place of peace. But that's what's been happening for me in the past week. It's just really, and going forward in what he's showing me to do, because it's been a challenge for me to do this Mary Kay business in the past. Although I love it, I hate it as well. So it's coming alive and I hate love and hate relationship at the same time. But now I grow it because I really see that is changing women so much, and they love the way they look. They're shocked that they look so good and they look like 10 years younger. And I'm like, you know, but it's not just that, is the ability to touch people's and get into outside of the church, the unchurched, basically, the people that you're not going to meet them at church, right? These people, but they need the Lord, they need the touch of his presence, right? And so that is a great vehicle that I'm using through this business. So this was my highlight this week.
Love it.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Would you nominate someone to go next?
Okay, let me see. Well, did River speak already? She did? No? Oh. No. Okay, River. So nice to meet you.
You
I
too,
love your
Patricia.
name.
Really nice to meet you.
I
Yeah.
love your name. When I first heard it, oh, I love that name. And then I saw your face. I said, oh my gosh. Uh, I just connected with you.
Thank you. Where do you live?
Right now in Charlotte, but I used to live in Florida.
Okay.
Yes. And originally I'm from Italy. So I came to the States many years ago.
Okay.
So
Good. Nice to
where
meet
do
you.
you
I'm
live?
glad you're here. Yeah. I'm in Washington, far northwest corner.
Oh goodness, that's cold over there, isn't it?
It is kind of cold now. I'm waiting till I turn off my thing to go turn the heat on.
Oh my gosh, God bless you.
I'll
Yes.
send you some of my heat.
Send me some. I'll send you some of my cool.
Oh no, thank you. I lived in London for 5 years. No more of that. No, I love the sun. I love the nice weather and warm weather. But
Well,
if you
I
want to
actually.
visit here, let me know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. One of these days, we're just going to be traveling all over the world visiting each other. I know it's true.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I had three highlights that I wrote down. The first one had to do with one time I don't even remember what the issue was. I was trying to make a decision. I was having a hard time, and I was talking to the Father about it, and I was going back and forth and back and forth, and he just said, River, it's like whatever you decide, it will work out for you. I will ensure that it works out for you. And all of a sudden I went, oh, it's Romans 8:28. Like in action, I'm like, really, Lord? I mean, it doesn't matter which way I decide. And he's like, no, it doesn't matter. I will work it out for you. No weapon formed against you can prosper. And I was like, oh, wow, that put a change in my way of thinking, and probably because I was thinking from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, right? And not, the Lord.
What was that scripture again, River?
Romans 8:28. That's the one. God works out all things for those who love Him and are according to His will. And then I also feel like God is doing something really amazing in my life. I've been really, the last decade and a half, I've been really focused on my work and had very little social life. And I had two women that I really enjoy come over yesterday. Now, we were working on a project, but it was like they came to my house, and I generally, because I work a lot, my house is not like super, it's not a big house. There's nothing fancy about it. It's not like this great place to welcome people, but it just felt like, wow, I have two friends coming to visit me. Yeah, we had something to do, but it just felt like this, I felt like this gift. And then the third thing I wrote down, which is that I've been thinking lately about how all of the changes that are going on in a big way, we don't actually understand everything that's going on globally or even in our nation, because what can we trust about what we're told, kind of thing. So I started thinking, well, I need to know my neighbors, and I've lived in this house for 10 years now, not quite 10 years, 9, 8 years. And like, I didn't know all of the neighbors and all the people on this little block that I live in. So I've been walking around and meeting people and saying, hey, maybe this summer we can do a big block, barbecue or something like that, so we can know each other. So no matter what goes on, we know each other. And the people right next door to me, as a young family, I've been in my mind having this desire to have a relationship with them, so that so that their son, who looks like he's 17 but he's only 12, could like hang out with my dog, and my dog could play with their dog. And I wanted the fences to come down, and I've actually had the opportunity to talk with them recently. And then yesterday, because I'm going to be out of town visiting my daughter later this week, the mom happened to come out at just the right time, and it's not neat. It was so God, it's just so God. You can't say anything else. And I brought up the topic, I'm leaving, and I'm just wondering, because they asked if the dog could come play in their yard, and they took the dog into their yard. And so then I brought up this whole thing about them basically watching the dog while I'm gone, and they're like all excited about it. And I'm like, I feel like this is just, God is so good. I mean, he took it out of my heart and out of my mind, and he made it manifest. And so that's me
I love it.
this week.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool. All right. Hey, River, would you nominate someone else, please? Oh, you're muted. I don't know what you're saying.
For some reason, I can't see who all's on the call. It's very frustrating, but I can't find that place that lets me see everybody. But is she here today? Is Fair here?
She is.
I
Fair.
am.
Can you
Okay, Fair, I nominate you, woman.
Well, thank you, and I miss you. Okay, so my celebratory moments may not be significant to you all, but is huge. So anybody knows me knows that I love animals, and I have two little kitty cats that's here, and one cat had a litter. Well, lo and behold, my little baby who had the litter, she was just she climbs up everything and was just being annoying. And I'm like, oh God, what is going to do? Because I do a lot of work from home. So the angel steps up to me and he says, now he doesn't talk all the time, but he says, grab her, hug her. She doesn't like being a mother. She doesn't love on her. And so, long story short, I hugged my little kitty cat. I held her for a while, petted her, played with her, and she was fine ever since. So that was a little win for me.
Wow.
It wasn't that cute.
Yes.
And it was a different angel because the voice was different. Number two, one of the people who have just been relentlessly attacking me in the spirit, the Lord allowed me to hear the desires of her child's heart, which is, I want to be like her. Talking about me, people, because I'm Christian, I want to be like her. People like her. And in so many words, she could see the kind heart that is really in me. So that was a major win for the Lord.
That's
the third thing that was amazing was one of the classes that made for my summer. I teach psychology, and in the summer, summer work is kind of up in the air. And so all of my classes made along with the bonus class. And what's really cool, my in-person classes are hybrid classes, meaning they have an online component of work and an in-class component. And when I tell you guys, those students rocked that class. They listened to their lecture. They had all of the answers. They were willing to work things out without me prompting them. And I was like, thank you, Lord. It makes the job so good. And so even though I'm a teacher, but I'm really a person who really want to help people get to that next level. So it's just inspiring to see kids or people do that. And so I'm like, oh, y'all making this job wonderful. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. So I floated from work home.
That's
Just
awesome.
by having that good feeling. Like, they're going to really think I'm a witch then, huh?
How
I'm
fun.
just joking.
Oh,
But it was just great, guys. And I really appreciate y'all. Please note that a lot of times when I'm not on camera, something is going on, and I thank y'all for your patience. The Lord is pulling me through this. This is just a little bit of a bump in the road. All right, thank y'all. Bye.
yes, thanks. Hey, Fair, wait, Fair.
Yes, yes,
Nominate someone to go next.
yes, yes. So I believe Karen has gone. Am I right? I don't know. Karen, did you go? I heard you say something. Oh, it's your. Karen and I went to school together. It's your turn.
Okay. Well, the thing that I would say this week, I have really on my team, I'm a program manager, and my team has really been dealing with a lot. But this week, I was able to really kind of press in to get my team a little bit of a break. It was really huge for me to be able to stand up to the big guy and say, respectfully, I am asking you to help my team. We need a break. So I'm really excited about that. He made me jump through hoops for it, but I'm really excited about it. And and also I'm starting to see some victories with them. I just started governing over that mountain. And one of my team who's been in training, he passed his test. So now he will be able to be in the facility without anybody else being there. So he's fully trained, up and ready. So that's a good thing. Also, I mean, I just see God working things out in a number of ways. So, um, what else can I say? It's a lot going on. Um, I'm just seeing victories. I'm just seeing victories everywhere. So I'm not completely out the water, but I'm seeing victories. So yes.
That's
Um, that's
Could you
it.
share what you messaged me about, ma'am?
About the finances. Okay, I told Christine. So I just felt like finances have been kind of tight for possibly a lot of people in the class who are dealing with finances. And so I was going to ask if we could press in and ask see if God will send us a blessing for our finances.
Amen, girl. You go, girl.
All right, fair to put me out
Sure.
there.
Okay. How about if we can, let's do that at the end of class. Okay. And if we don't have time at the very end, then we'll hopefully someone help me to remind everyone and we'll engage together separately about it. Okay. United in the spirit, if nothing else. So, one more person, I think. Myrna, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you have a highlight to share?
Yeah, I actually I was 2 days ago I felt like it's something in the spirit I never felt before, and all of a sudden I just sat down and I start speaking in tongues. I said in my mind and even out loud, I said, I'm not going to take this one anymore. Whatsoever is coming against me should be removed. And I start speaking in tongues loudly. And I said, whatsoever is coming against me, against my family and against my daughter. And like it was coming negative thoughts before that. And then all of a sudden I picked up something or whatever it is, but that is the first time that I felt like that. And then the one who came in my mind is fear. Came into my mind while that is happening, like for a split of a second. And I thought, okay, I need to do something. What do you want me to do, Lord? And I'm talking, speaking in tongues with it, and I was shaking. I was like, you know how when you shake a paper, like that's how I was. My body was shaking. It's just like it's something is physically, but it's something is spiritually in the same time. Is just coming against me. So when I sat down, I thought, that's it. I'm gonna speak positive things. I think positive things, and I'm going to say thank you, Lord, for everything. And I'm not going to tolerate with these things. So I go with you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I was speaking in tongues, speaking in tongues, speaking in tongues. All of a sudden, not even 5 minutes, it just went straight away. And I thank the Lord for that. I said, Lord, I truly thank you that you're teaching me something new, even though it's split of a second, it freaked me out. That's why fear came into my mind. I'm not sure why, or maybe she went through that and the Lord is showing me that she went through that, or she's going through that, or something like that. But the word is the one it came when came, it's just like the attack physically, but spiritually as well in the same time, both. So yeah. So the Lord actually was teaching me that one, and I decided that and I said to the Lord, so what is going on? And the Lord gave me like briefly an answer of it. He said, you are breaking. You know how constantly we do the same thing, a routine, we do things at the same, like again and again and again and again, but it's included fear, included all things that we do it as like a routine in our life, but we don't realize, and it's no good for us. So the Lord actually is, yeah. So this is the time that the Lord actually said that He's breaking it for me, and I'm sure it would be for all of us too. Yeah. So I just want to thank the Lord for that He's teaching me to be positive and to seek the great power and vibration of His, that the positive one, to actually it comes into existence, like His power, His glory, and not just that. It's just like to bring the atmosphere of heaven down. Not just physically, but spiritually, like when we need money, that the money, it comes with it straight away, because that He, with this positive, with this atmosphere, with this frequency of the Lord, to actually draw it down, with the Lord. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Myrna. That I feel like it ties in very well with what I know that we're supposed to be focusing on today. So thank you very much for sharing that. So one of the things that the Lord was showing me, I was really, you guys, sometimes the Lord shows me a few days before we're supposed to have class what I'm supposed to teach on. And sometimes I'm freaking out before, like, hello, Lord, where are you? What am I supposed to be teaching? And today was one of those days that I'm like seeking and seeking, diligently seeking, getting nothing. And then literally like 1 minute before, I am already on here waiting for you guys. And finally he starts showing me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then while we're engaging, he starts showing me more and more and more. And Anyway, it's so good. I'm really thankful for it because I probably never would have chosen this. And so it's just perfect, because I already have seen, as we were engaging, a lot of the breakthrough that is supposed to happen today just because of this word.
Right.
So one of the things that we have a tendency to do is we get discouraged or down in the dumps because of attacks that happen to us, or our own mindsets, or people around us, or I mean, you name it, stuff happens, right? And we get focused there. The more we focus on those things, the more they come to us. And the more we focus on those things, the more our mind looks for those things. So scientifically, I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. In our brain, there is something called the reticular activating system. What this is it picks up patterns. That's what this part of your brain does. It is there to pick up on patterns, to be able to focus on certain things. Okay. And so I'm going to use an example. Please forgive me if you've heard me say this before, but it's just the very best example that I know of that the Lord has shown me. Okay. Do you guys, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but I love being unique. I love being kind of a little bit weird. I always say, embrace the weird stuff. I always say, let's get weird. I like being this person. Some of you are like, oh, not me. That's fine, but that's why I'm different. And so I like that. That's why I'm going to wear wild things like this and whatever. So when I went car shopping this last time, it was about a year ago. I don't know when it was. But when I went car shopping, I am not picky when it comes to cars. I need something that works. I need something that will get me from here to here and my family. That's all I care about. I just need something that isn't breaking down every 2 seconds and me having to pour in money into it. And so that's what I went looking for when I had to get a new vehicle. And so I am looking, and this guy says, who's helping me, the car salesman, he says, how do you feel about that color you're wearing? I'm not wearing it today, but it's like this blue, green, teal kind of color. And I'm like, I mean, I like it. And he goes, I have a really unique car, but I don't know if you're going to like the color. And I'm like, well, let's go look. And so shows up, and it's this color that I have never seen a vehicle that looks like this, which to me is exciting. Okay. So everyone else would be like, yeah, that's weird. But for me, I'm like, oh, that's weird. And so anyway, I see it and I'm like, this is so cool because it's like, it looks green in some lights and it looks blue in other lights. And it's just so pretty. And so I loved it. And I'm like, there's not another car like this. I'm excited. And so I get that vehicle. Plus, it's like really low mileage and good, really good vehicle for me. And so I get the vehicle and must take a pic and show you. Okay, well, I'm not going to do it right this second, but I will. I'll send you a picture. You'll be like, that's it. I don't know. But anyway, so the one thing I was excited about is, hey, if I park in a big parking lot, I'm going to be able to spot the vehicle anytime, because there's no other car that's colored. And anyway, so yes, I'm so excited about this. Wonderful. Well, then the very next week, I start seeing other cars this color. And I'm like, I've never seen a car this color. How there's a car that one's the same color. There's a car. And my kids are like, look, there's a car that's our same color. And I'm like, because I like to be unique. And so anyway.
You returned the car?
No, I didn't return the car. I still have the car. And it still is fairly unique. Okay. But the point is, I had never noticed that color because it's not that common. I just think this is the only one because I've never noticed it before. Now that I focus my eyes on my vehicle all the time, now I notice that color everywhere. And that's because that's how our brains work. When we see something and we see it often, it makes us continue to look for it and see it without meaning to. It's kind of like my kids play this game. I don't know what they call it, bingo or something for some reason. But anyway, in the car, if they see some sort of yellow car, then they're like, bingo, bingo. Oh, there's what, bingo. And they do this all the time and it drives me crazy. But what they're doing is they're looking for the patterns. They're looking for that. And so we are like this in everything we do. Everything. If you start saying money's coming in, you're going to look for all the ways that money's coming in. If you start saying that all the time, money's coming in, money's coming in, money's coming in, then all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I just found a quarter. Money's coming in. And then anyway, you're going to see that and you're going to notice it. And what will happen is it will be attracted to you. All of these things will start being attracted to you because you are looking for it and you will notice it. One of the coolest experiences I had, and the reason we just did this highlights, okay, is because I used to minister in the United Methodist Church, okay? Nothing wrong with the United Methodist Church, but it was not a place that you really ever celebrate praises or anything like that. It's like you just go, you worship, have a little teaching, go home, sort of thing. Okay. And I was a youth pastor. So I wanted to take all of my youth group kids to different kinds of worship experiences in different denominations. So they would just be able to see what's out there and see that the body of Christ is bigger than their experience. And so one of the churches that we went to was this tiny church, like, I don't know, probably 30 people. I don't know. It was pretty small. And when we went, one of the things that they did every week was they shared praises. That's what they did. So what happened is they started being like, oh my gosh, my stepdad, he had this problem and he just got healed. His foot was healed. And then they would have another person who would share that. And I noticed within myself, my faith started to raise. Like, yes, but God can do that. And like, I knew God could do that. I've seen miracles myself, but all of a sudden my faith is like, I believe that the Lord is going to do something big. Like all of a sudden it starts encouraging me to where then I look for what the Lord is doing and I start to believe more. I start to have a bigger faith. And everything shifts in who I am in a moment just because of the encouragement of everyone focusing on all the things that are good, honorable, pure, worthy of praise. That's what the scripture says for us to do. So if you notice yourself getting into this place, River, I'm going to use you as an example. Okay. I feel like you're pretty okay with me talking about you. And so anyway, this week, I met with River. I help her govern her business and she helps me govern Kohen Gadol, and we're friends. And so we've been meeting every week for years. And one of the things that this week she mentioned a little earlier, but she just was totally down in the dumps. And she had just felt really overwhelmed with life. Like everything she was doing, she couldn't keep up and everything bad was happening because she wasn't doing enough. This is how she felt. Okay. And immediately the Lord, when she's sharing this, he started showing me why and started showing me that it was because she wasn't governing her day. And now she had been, by the way, but she wasn't for the last couple of days. And because she wasn't governing her day was governing her. Have you ever had this happen before? You're not really focused on what you should be doing. You're not really focused on these things. So then everything is reactive, like, oh my gosh, this person needs this and I need this. And I can't keep up with anything in my life. This is what happens. The day starts governing you. And it can get really overwhelming. and you can feel like you're never getting anything done for the Lord or for your life or anything. And so when you start your day governing and you just focus on what the Lord has you focus on, even if it's only like one thing or two things, it's like it gives a direction for your mind to focus. And it gives you a place for you to start and recognize the blessings of the Lord that are coming. And so I'm just going to use this little example. Her dog got out while she was gone. And very scary kind of situation. Other people found the dog, called her. She didn't know them. You know, the dog had gotten out quite a ways and was in danger of being run over and all of this. And when she showed up, they had been standing there, you know, on the side of the road for a while with the dog. And she was really upset. Like, I can't even believe this happened. You know, I don't know what to do about this stuff. And if she were in a better headspace before, she would have been like, oh my gosh, this is so great. These people found my dog and they saved him and the Lord came through. You know, it's a totally different way of focusing, right? But she was in this place where she was down because either she or the enemy was attacking. Okay. And when I say she was surprised I said this, that I do that, but sometimes I let my mind do its thing and it's not always the enemy. It's sometimes me. Okay. It's sometimes me. And so whether it's you or the enemy, either way, you're letting other things come in and start governing you. When I was younger, I started getting attacked really badly physically by demons. And what happened to me is it made me so afraid that I was constantly on guard looking for them. And so I started attracting them more because I was constantly looking for them. And I started seeing them all the time, like a lot. This happened for years of extreme torture from these demons. And it was partially my fault because I was constantly looking for them. And not in a way that I wanted them. I sure didn't want them. But it just was a reaction because I felt so overwhelmed and so scared all the time that I brought them in. It is the exact same when we focus on heavenly things. So a few years later after this, I saw my first angel. And like in the natural, okay? So I'm watching and I saw an angel for the first time. I'd seen demons like a ton, but I had not ever seen an angel. And I saw this angel for the first time and I was like blown away. Like, whoa, I didn't know you can even see them in the natural. This is how I felt. Like, what? And then all of a sudden I'm like, maybe there are more. And I started looking like maybe there are more angels. So I started looking around and I'd start paying attention in the spirit for angels. And I'd see them and I'd start to see more and more angels. Well, pretty soon I start focusing more on angels and I'm not seeing as many demons. Once I started engaging in heaven and I started being obsessed with it, by the way, I was kind of obsessed with engaging in heaven and having these experiences. I stopped seeing demonic stuff altogether. I don't see demonic stuff anymore because I don't look for it. And the Lord has told me if I try to look for it, I will see it. And so he has told me, keep your eyes focused on heavenly things. And you remember the scripture that says that? Let me see if I can find that one too for you. Colossians 3. Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. Fallen angels are ruling earth, right? They're on the earth. They're not in the heavenly places. We just lost someone. Who was it? A river. Okay. Anyway, when we focus on the things of earth, like, oh, I'm having money problems. Oh, I'm struggling with this health problem. Oh, all of these things that are happening in the earth, we aren't fixing our eyes on heaven. When we fix our eyes on heaven, more of heaven comes to earth. Okay, I know it sounds a little strange, but this is literally what happens. Okay, and this is why, by the way, I saw a bunch of angels getting super excited when we were engaging earlier. And then Fair said something earlier and said, can you sense why the angels around me are rejoicing? And I knew the Lord was like, it's because today is a pivotal shift in her life because of this message. And this is strange to say, but when you start focusing on the heavenly things and you start focusing on angels, they start being released to be able to function in your life and on the earth. And so the more you engage heavenly places and heavenly experiences and the Father and Yeshua, and you start speaking in tongues like Myrna, and you start doing these things where you're refocusing on that, all the other loses its power in your life. So if you have had struggle with witchcraft, a lot of you, I know at least like 3 or 4 of you right now who this is a main struggle you're in, is witchcraft stuff coming against you right now. If this is a struggle for you, please shift your focus. Shift your focus to angels, shift your focus to heavenly things, to hiding yourself in the Lord, to governing, to reigning, all of that in the heavenly places. And you're going to start to see that stuff losing power and you gaining power. When I say you, if you think about this, power comes from the Father alone. I don't know if you know that, but energy, any kind of actual power comes from the Father. Everything in the earth that is created came from the Father's mouth. It's his power that releases it. If we have any power, it is the Father in us.
Mhm.
Okay. And so the more we partake of the things of the Father, the more power we have. The less we do, the less power we have. The more we come in line with death. Okay, because death is like zero power, zero energy. So the more we align with things in the earth, the more death will have a hold on us. The more we focus on the things of heaven and the things that the Lord is doing and the good things, all the things that are good, pure, honorable, worthy of praise, all of those things, when we focus there, then that is what manifests. That's what manifests the most because we are drawing on the power of the Lord. When we all share our highlights and our wins and the things that the Lord is doing, all of a sudden our frequency starts to rise. We start to gain power. That's what happens. And our faith rises, our hope rises. All of a sudden we see that there is hope in a future, right? And when we don't have each other to lean on in these times, we lose power. And so like River, I'm going back to River. And when I was talking to her, we start out the conversation really down in the dumps, you know, that sort of thing. And the Lord empowered me to empower her. That's what happened in that moment. And I just started speaking life. That's what the Lord had me do. Just speak life, 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 change of perspective, all of this. Look here, look here, look here. And it's not because I'm better, because I have a million moments that other people have to do that with me. Okay. But that moment, what happened was by the end of our conversation, River was ruling and reigning again. She was in full power of the Lord. She was focused on the Lord and the good things that were happening and all of that. And it was a total shift. And I really believe it's just the Lord in us. We need each other. I told you last week to focus on engaging with each other more, right? Do you remember that?
Mhm.
This is important. We need each other to be able to function in the Spirit, not just because of our different gifts, but we lean on each other. We gain power from one another because we can help each other focus in the Lord. And if you have, I've noticed I have this little friend group on Signal, okay, which a messaging app. I have this little friend group on Signal that all they do is like whine about life. It is stupid. Okay, I love them. I love these people very much. Great people, love the Lord, but they have gotten in this really negative mindset of like, all that group is for is complaining about how sucky things are. And the Lord has shown me I need to not engage with that. I can't engage with that because even though it's true, things happen, we want to be friends to anyone who needs it. If you don't feel comfortable sharing the wins of the Lord in a group, then that means that group is not for you. Okay? I'm going to say that with boldness. I don't feel comfortable saying, oh my gosh, this awesome thing the Lord did in that group. Even though they all love the Lord, it's because that group, the culture of it is negative. And so if I say something positive, it's like it makes them feel like, oh, well, my life sucks more because hers is so great. And so we don't want to be a part of that. We all have wins. We all have losses. That's the truth. Okay. We all have struggles, but we all have wins. And that's why I said, even if you feel like this week has been blah, 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 really horrible, you can come up with something. You can. I do it every week with my kids. We have a day that we eat together. Okay. I know that sounds silly. We should always eat together, but in the culture of our life, we have one night that is set aside only for our little clan to have dinner at the table together. And we always celebrate two things. One thing we're thankful for and the highlight of our week. And so what we do, because we can be thankful for anything. I can be thankful that I have a toilet to crap in, that I don't have to go to the backyard or something. Okay. Like I can be thankful for that. I am thankful for that. I'm super thankful for that. And so if I have nothing else that I think is great in my life, I can be thankful for a lot of things. I can be thankful I woke up today. I can be thankful that the sun is out. I could, you can come up with something that you can be grateful for. What is the highlight? The one good thing, maybe the one good thing is being able to come to class and be excited with each other about what's happening in our lives. It's like the positive highlight. You can have a highlight for sure. And so if we practice looking for the good things, then we will change the culture around us. And the culture around us, like even fair, when you were talking about how cool it was to see how that girl who has been kind of attacking you or whatever, how she wants to be like you now. She wants to, that is so cool because this is exactly what happens. Even those who are focused on evil will see the love and the light and want to come toward it. Because there is something that is just different about those who carry the light and those who are making changes in the world and who are really focused on change. And, River, you were talking about earlier how we're supposed to be those who change the world. And how we connect with our lights together, it changes the world. And it literally does. There's an impact that we are making in this generation. Okay, I can see I'm boring everyone right now. Here's what you can do. No? Okay. Okay, it seemed like it. I was getting a lot of lame faces. And so, okay.
A lot of self-reflection faces.
Okay, let's hope that's true. Okay, anyway, I just want you guys this week to practice focusing on what's good, honorable, pure, any heavenly thing. And when you do this, you will start to see angels activated. I mean, that's the main thing that the Lord was telling me when we were engaging, is that we were going to, even by accident, activate angels to start being able to function in our lives. And so, and not just in our lives, like all over the world. And so I'm excited for this. We are releasing heaven into the earth by being able to change all of this in ourselves. And so, I mean, it's very basic. This is like basic kindergarten kind of teaching. But I'm telling you, sometimes we need to go back to the basics to be able to step into our higher places, which reminds me of what the Lord was showing me also when we were engaging. There were some of us in this group who received crowns, and it was like these crowns were more of like an achievement. It's almost like receiving a medal. It was an achievement, and this achievement had to do with focusing in the heavens and this whole joy positive thing. Okay. I don't have a real name for it. I wish I did, but that's what the feeling was around it. Okay. So anyway, but he said that some didn't receive the crowns yet, but you are going to. And so I know that this is really important for some people to level up. And so I know we need to focus. If you're like, yeah, I got this, I do this all the time, this word wasn't really for me, that means you're supposed to help those in this class who need this word. Okay. So please, as we're engaging with each other, be willing to be the vulnerable one and also be willing to be the encouraging one. Okay. Because all of us probably can do both. Yeah. Good. Okay. So we don't really have time to engage over the finance stuff right now to release it. Maybe we can for 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes until Kingdom Builders starts. Okay. So, and it's on this channel. So if you are in Kingdom Builders, please join us after this. We're going to have good discussion. If you are not, you're welcome to join us anyway and join. Okay. So you can join for as little as free, or you can also have appointments with my sister and me and all of that if you want. But either way, join us on this one after, because we're going to discuss things of the faith, and I'm sure it'll be awesome like always. So anyway, how about we now have 1 minute? Let's focus in. And if we don't get anything finished, we can still continue to engage over this for our whole class. Okay. Okay. Okay, I know that wasn't very much time. So we'll continue this. I saw some awesome things being released personally. But right now I already have someone trying to join in for the Kingdom Builder stuff. So I need to stop this recording, and we will see you next week. Okay. Bye, guys.